I wanted to use an illustration. I think it helps people understand what the whole God virus thing, how it works. And we haven't really gotten there yet. I call it the, it's an experiment you can do. And that is sit down with your best religious friend and have a good discussion with them about their faith. And just let them talk. And try to take notes while you're doing it. Ask them about Jesus and they'll tell you, well, Jesus went to heaven. Jesus rose from the dead. Go through all those things. And trying to write them all down. And then go back a few days later, come back to your friend, transcribe that, and just change everything. Instead of Jesus, just insert the word Muhammad. And then read back the transcription of the little discussion you had, using the word Muhammad here and Muhammad there, because Muhammad went up to heaven. Muhammad did a lot of the same things that Jesus did. And watch the expression on their face, and then ask them what's wrong. And they'll say, well, that's not right. And you can reverse this with your Islamic friends and have them do it, and then just insert Jesus.
Just don't draw any pictures.
Yeah. What this helps everyone see is the power of the God virus, because it blinds people to the fallacies of their own religion. But most Mormons can tell you what's wrong with Islam. Islam, most Christians can tell you what's wrong with Mormons, and so forth.
Yeah.
But when they look at themselves, they cannot tell you what the fatal flaw of their particular religion, because the God virus literally blinds them to that.
That was an important discovery in my life as well, because it wasn't atheist sites that gave me the best information when I was beginning my transition that I didn't even know was happening. It was other religions.
Yes.
You want to know what's wrong with Protestants, you go ask a Catholic.
Yes, right.
And you want to know what's wrong with Jews, you go ask a Muslim. And that's the way this works. Now, fortunately, we live in an age where there's much more information available quickly online. I can go, Google, whatever. And now we're getting secular viewpoints that are basically taking all these bits and pieces of information from everybody else, applying a little bit of rational thought, looking at all the evidence, and saying, look, this applies to all of you.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that kind of realization is... It's one of the things that I try to do, because usually when somebody calls, I tend to ask questions at least to get started. Whether it's something simple like tell me what you believe and why, or we try to get down to the meat, because I'd prefer to discuss what it is that they're actually talking about. And, if you stop somebody and say, oh, no, you're talking about God and this, and this means this, you're definitely not going to get anywhere that way, because you're just talking past each other. So one of the reasons that I love, the kind of Socratic method of asking questions is it gives you the opportunity for them to enlighten themselves.
Yes, right, exactly.
In their answers, you carefully craft the questions to the point where they are then forced to answer on their own behalf, and hopefully become aware of this, confusing situation where this applies everywhere.
Yeah.
I could, why is your argument that there must be an intelligent, transcendent being any more strong than an argument that there must be universe-creating pixies?
Yeah.
I mean, they're the same. You got to come up with something that distinguishes your claim from somebody else's.
But the Bible says that it's...
Yeah.
Now, it seems to me that the most obvious response that you would probably get, like the very first reaction to your ideas, that a Christian or a theist might give you, is it would probably pull out, well, what about all the good stuff religion does, right? I mean, religion has, is often praised, even by critics of religion. They'll say, well, at least it has the capacity to foster a sense of community in a culture, so that's a good thing that brings people together. The people might say, well, religious people do all sorts of charity work and benefit and stuff, and when Russell Glasser, the other host, some weeks ago,
he's out in the hall, so be
had
careful what you
a
say.
Baptist youth minister here, and one of the things that guy does is he went out to Darfur and did all this beneficial stuff for the folks. And so people, it seems to me, they'll immediately respond to this whole idea, well, religion's this horrible parasitic meme that is up to no good, and it just doesn't care about you, it takes you, and they'll say, but what about all this stuff? And your response to them would be?
Well, I'd look at Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and say, wow, they hardly have any religion there, but they seem to do an awful lot of good things. Canada's not nearly as religious as us, but they seem to survive quite well and be very social and build communities and do good things. So how does religion enhance that? In one part of the book, I talk about the 5% solution. And it's a kind of interesting analysis. Look at where the money goes in religion. Now, if I give $1 to a church, where does that money actually go? If you analyze where it went to buying Bibles, paying preachers, building humongous churches, doing all sorts of things, none of which actually do any good for anybody except the God virus.
Yeah.
All right? If you analyze all that money, 5 cents out of that dollar goes to drilling a well in Darfur, or helping cure a disease in Kenya, or doing Haiti relief, earthquake relief. 5 cents. Now, in the Chamber of Commerce guidelines, they say a charity should not spend more than 40 cents out of the dollar on administrative work. 60 cents should go to doing good for someone somewhere. It should be drilling a hole somewhere. But religionists consider giving someone a Bible as doing good, building a church as doing good, preaching to the heathen out there as doing good. I don't count any of that. That's not doing anybody any good. Curing a disease is good. Helping teenage pregnant women deal with that issue is doing good. Drilling a well is doing good. 5 cents. Now, where's the good there? Why do we need religion to drill wells and give Haiti relief? Doctors Without Borders is doing that all the time.
Right.
And then they're not religious, and they're very clear about not siding with any religion.
Right.
I find little or no evidence that, on the whole, you're better off with religion. Little or none. Because I can give my dollar to United Way, I can give my dollar to Red Cross, and be darn sure 60 cents out of the dollar is going to do some good somewhere. If I give it to any religion, I don't care what religion it is, 5 cents is going to do good. Now, what's the rationale there? I'm a businessman. I make my living in the business world, and that doesn't make any sense anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what I say to your religious people that say religion does good.
Right.
There's two other aspects of this that we can look at still within the context of the religion as a virus. And one is that, first of all, much of the good that gets attributed to religion is good that people are doing, irrespective of the religion.
Right.
And religion takes credit for it,
Right.
just as,
Right.
it does some benefit for the religion,
Right.
therefore it keeps it. The other aspect is that we know that there are viruses that produce good benefits. Sickle cell anemia can protect from malaria.
Yeah, right.
And so it should be hardly surprising that the religion virus would want to do some good, because if all it ever did was bad, then
Nobody
it
would
wouldn't
be
have
there.
stopped.
It would kill off the person. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.